What's up, guys? It's your boy Nick Torius, back again with another video. I said I'm back again with another video, and today I'm gonna be explaining to you guys some things that I learned while I was high as fuck. Right? So smash the like button, comment below what you think, subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it. So, a lot of times I will smoke hella weed, right? And one thing about weed is it's so early. One thing about weed is that it makes you learn a lot of things, right? A lot of things I learned, and then I would hear this little voice in my head say, "Don't say this because the government the government said not to say this." So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna say it, right? I'll let you guys learn some things that the voice in my head didn't say the government said. No. It's so funny because I used to not that I used to, but I look up like how to tell someone has schizophrenia, right? Because sometimes I've been thinking that, like, damn, you know what? Like, a lot of things I learned about schizophrenia is like a lot of stuff that I like notice in myself. So I'll be like wondering if I have it and shit, right? But it's funny because one of the symptoms of like schizophrenia is basically is basically just worrying that the government is coming after you, right? It's like, oh, the government, right? And I remember, bro, what are you doing? I remember one time I was on acid for the first time ever, right? The first time I ever took acid, I remember I was such a, it's like I had no mind, right? It's like my mind, oh man, that was so amazing. It's like my mind was so clear, right? It's like, damn, there's nothing on my mind, right? I was just like literally so, it's like I had a brand new mind, right? It's like my mind was just like brand new. And I was like, oh shit, that's fucking insane, right? And I realized, like, damn, that's why this shit's illegal, because the government don't want you to have a brand new mind, right? Because it's like being like a little kid, right? Like when you're a little kid, you have no mind, you have no it's like I can see my mind and it's like all dirty, right? It's all dirty and muddled and shit. I'm just like, ugh. But then it's like when you're on acid, it's like, oh shit, that shit's clean, and it's like I can put whatever I want. It's so crazy. That's one thing, right? One thing I learned on like on marijuana, like I'm talking about high on marijuana, right? When I was high, I learned that you can change the shape of your face, right? I learned that there's certain, like, the way, like, when I was legit, I used to do this a lot, right? I used to go like this, and what happened is that it made a crease on my nose, right? And I always hated that crease. I was like, damn, that crease is, like people will make me feel bad about having a crease on my nose, right? Like, my family and shit, and, like, my mom would always be like, oh, you crease your nose and all this stuff, and I said, not like it, right? And she told me it was because you will go like this a lot. And I remember one time I was so high, I had smoked this weed, right? I call it super learning weed, right? Because it's like, it showed me that every second I was learning new things. And it was like a little trip, right? Like on a trip, you just learn a lot of shit. And I was basically just learning, like I smoked it. And I got, like, every time I would smoke it, I would just learn so many things, right? And I was just like, damn. Oh, okay. Oh, and I just realized, I just wouldn't stop realizing things, right? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm just like, right now, realizing this, I'm realizing that, right? And so that's why I call it super learning weed. Because basically I'll just learn a bunch of shit. And one thing I learned on it was that, you know, you can change the shape of your face, and it's like the facial expressions that you make determine what your face looks like, right? So if you're constantly like I remember one time I was listening to this Les Brown post speech, right? And Les Brown was basically explaining how, like, there was a dude that was in his office, and he was just like, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't want to, he like hated life and shit, and you could see that he hated life. I honestly forgot the story, so I'm not gonna bore you guys with the geriatrics, right? But a lot of books I read, especially by Frederick Dodson, he explains in a lot of his books that you could tell a lot about a person by their face, right? Like, you could tell if someone's gone through a lot by how their face looks. Like, you could tell a man, right? Like like men with like more like I have a like baby face, right? Because I don't go through shit. Like, my life is really good. It's really nice, right? I don't really gotta go through nothing, so I don't really be stressing like that. So I don't really got that like manly face, like, right? Because I don't really be in that. I like to be like free, like I like, you know, I'm like a little kid, right? But you could tell like everything that someone's gone through just by their face and like judging them. I know a lot of times I look in some people's face and I'm like, damn, they're old, right? And you can tell someone's old by their face because their face looks like an old person's face, and you're just like, damn, you know, like they've been through a lot. Your facial expressions are very important. So, you know, if you're young listening to this, understand like no matter like every time that you're upset, don't like make a frown, because when you frown, that's when you get those wrinkles, right? You get wrinkles by frowning. You should smile. Like smiling more, right? Smiling boosts your confidence, and it makes you look better. It makes your face look better. You know, a lot of time, because we use like, you know, people use like girls use makeup and shit to like hide their flaws and cover their face and shit, when all they could do is just smile more. Like when dudes be like, smile more. Like when girls be like resting bitch face, right? They be like, but then because I always see these posts, right? It's the girls always being like, me on the outside, but me on the inside. Right? Be like that on the outside is gonna come on the inside. Be like that on the inside is gonna come out on the outside. Because I feel like girls be lying, right? Because I had an ex who was very negative, and I could tell she had a lot of negativity inside of her, because I know her. Right? And you know, she was pretty, but she always had the resting bitch face, and I could tell she was really feeling that way inside, because she don't want niggas talking to her. So she's like, because girls, like a lot of times when they be like, oh, smile more, it's because girls put on this front so that they can look like unapproachable, right? Because they don't want dudes bothering them, because dudes will bother them. But that's just one thing I learned, right? Another thing I learned while I was high, what the hell else did I learn? Damn, because I had a whole bunch of things, and then I started talking about this and I forget. Oh yeah, live in the moment, right? I remember one time I was so high, and I was just like, you know, living in the moment. I was just like laying in my bed, right? I'm just laying in my, because a lot of times when you're high, you don't listen, you don't think about nothing, right? You're just like chilling, and you're just like, oh, I'm so relaxed, I'm not thinking about anything. But what happened is one time I was just laying in bed, right? And I was so high, and I was just like, damn, bro, this is what it means to live in the moment. It's just, I'm in the moment, and it's like, I'm here right now. And I learned that. And I was like, you know what? Life is chilling, right? I mean, I learned that more on acid, but, you know, like living in the moment, I was just, you know, I was so high. I was just like, I didn't care about nothing, bro. It's like all my worries are just gone. I was just like here in this moment. It's like in this one, like if you ever read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, I bet that nigga was high as fuck all the time, right? Because he's like, oh, live in the moment. You must be in the moment, right? Because you are constantly in the moment, right? All we have is this moment. It's like, whatever you're making decisions, like, oh, this didn't work in the past. It's like, nigga, all you have right now is the moment. Be in the moment. Do things in the moment. Like the other day, I tried to kiss this girl, right? And the thing is, like, I was in my head, I was like, oh, you know what? I know I got this big ass shit on my lip. This is the other day. And I know because the thing is, you know, I know a lot of times when I try to kiss, like, you know, if I try to kiss a girl, it will go a type of way. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go this way, maybe I'll go that way. But the thing is, then I think, you know what? This is a different girl. Let me try this, you know, let me try it anyway. Okay, right? And, you know, things, because every moment is different, right? Just because something went a certain way before, that's why people like be like science this, science that. It's like, it's not always about science. Science can steer you wrong sometimes, right? I don't know, what else did I learn when I was high? I don't know. I'll make a part 2 to this. So like the video. I don't want to make it too long. Like the video. Comment below what you think. Subscribe if you're new. And if you have any questions, just DM me on Instagram at Torius. Ask for interviews. And I will make answer to your question in the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Patreon too. That being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.